20 years younger than him, who is a different gender, a different race. It's kind of been this moment where he has not been able to coalesce around a single attack line.
I know you guys are objective over there, that you just report the news as it is. Oh, I know. CNN makes a... I know
that's supposed to be a laugh line?
It wasn't supposed to be, but I guess it is.
So I encourage you to see search that clip up, Caitlin Collins on Late Night Show. But that was not good. That the audience laughed at the fact that CNN is unbiased, or is supposed to be unbiased. So I think we've already crossed that bridge, and I don't know if there's a way to get back. I know I'm being very pessimistic, but
No, that's great. But I think the problem with CNN, for example, is that they put the left-wing pundit and then the right-wing pundit, and then they battle it out on a specific issue, and they sort of moderate in between the two, and they call that objective journalism, or neutral tone reporting. But the thing is that I think as a journalist, we know that some perspectives are not worthy of a platform, as large of a platform as others, or we know certain perspectives simply should not have a louder voice in the conversation than others. For example, an issue of vaccinations. We know by the science that vaccinations are necessary, that they've allowed us to prevent the scourge of these deadly diseases. And if I have an article where half of it is about a vaccine denialist, then of course it's harder to understand what as the reader what perspective as the reader I should value higher over the other. And I think CNN and all journalists should actually take a stand and say, no, this perspective is wrong. Here's why. We should actually, and that sort of goes back to the point of interpreting reality. What is worthy of readers' attention and consideration, and what isn't. And we still have to make those calls. We have to still make those decisions. Of course, will we ever get 100% correct? No. But that's where readers help to inform and push back and criticize when necessary. And that should be always something that we should embrace and welcome. But I think that the era of simply trying to play a neutral observer isn't working. And we know that because right now we have a society where we even question the reality of facts themselves. That's a faked fact. We're at an existential point where we're questioning whether the reality that we all share is real. And that's been peddled, especially by Trump, particularly. So I think journalists should have that backbone, that spine to say, no, this is wrong, or fact check. And I think that's what readers are drawn to, and that's what they admire about certain journalists. And there are some great journalists at CNN, and there are times where, they actually, they boldly and flat out deny whatever cockamamie stuff is being spouted by some guest that appears. So yeah, I think that's what we as journalists have to do in order to keep truth above all things, to keep truth alive. Yeah.
Right.